And welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on AEW. It is Thursday night, June 22nd, 2023. It's a rare Thursday night here on the Big Fight Fuel channel, but we are here for Forbidden Door previewing predictions. And ever since the show ended last night, I was excited all day to come on here and talk about this show with you guys. We got the entire squad here tonight on the Big Fight Fuel channel. First and foremost, we got Cameron Johnson. Cam, what is up, dude? How are you doing? That is a nice, that's an Ultimate Warrior shirt, I think.
It's a Hogan and Warrior shirt. It's a WrestleMania 6 shirt. So
Nice.
it's a Hogan Warrior shirt. Face cam is back right now, at least for the time being. I don't know how long it's gonna last because I don't know how long it's gonna last because my computer screen needs to be fixed. So we're on the phone. So we're using the phone. But man, I'm doing good, man. Got the NBA draft on here in the background. If you see me reacting at all, or if you see me off camera with a shocked look on my face, it's probably because my team made a pick for a position that we did not need, and now I am heated. So if you see that in the background, that's all that is. But we ain't here to talk about the NBA draft. We're here to talk about Forbidden Door this Sunday. Oh my God. This Forbidden Door card is this might be pay-per-view of the year. Let me tell you. Forbidden Door last year was pay-per-view of the year. Last year was pay-per-view of the year with the card featuring a roster that was beat up to hell due to injuries. This year we got a fully healthy roster, fully healthy card. Tony Khan has kept everybody in the hyperbolic time chamber, and he's gonna bring them out. Oh my God, man! This card is looking absolutely phenomenal. Oh my God! Oh my Lord!
Wes, what's up, dude?
What's up? Can't wait to talk about Forbidden Door. Great show last night from AEW Dynamite. Great go home. Now we look forward to Sunday. We do have Collision Saturday, of course, too, to watch. But we also, most importantly, we have Sunday to look forward to. Forbidden Door. Definitely, I would say definitely a better card than last year. And last year's card, absolutely phenomenal. The show last year was great. First time ever New Japan AEW. Now this time, second time ever AEW New Japan colliding for one big super show. I'm looking forward to, man. We got, match of the year candidates from like top to bottom pretty much with this card. I mean, we got some banger matches set up, man. I mean, headline pretty much with Omega, Ospreay, and then Danielson, Okada. I mean, we got a lot of content to dive into, man. There's quite a few matches on this card I feel like are pretty easily predictable, but there's also a few matches as well that, honestly could go either way. And I could see a lot of different scenarios coming out of it. But I cannot wait to talk about it with the full career tonight. Myself, Joseph Conlon, Cameron Johnson. We are back to talk Forbidden Door. Let's get right into it.
I'll say this for just to add some notes too. Canadian wrestling fans, they're the best, and they're loud every time a big show comes to Toronto or Montreal. This show at the Scotiabank Arena, that crowd is going to be unbelievable on Sunday night, man. And just you could tell last year, Cam said it. The roster was beat up and depleted, and I really felt like AEW last summer wasn't as fun as previous summers because of injuries. There was rarely CM Punk. There you rarely saw Bryan Danielson. There was no Kenny Omega. There was no MJF. All four of those guys are on Forbidden Door this year. All of them are wrestling on the show, and just the matches that you have built around Omega and Ospreay and Danielson Okada, man, it is unbelievably stacked. And looking at this card, I think this is right now this is the best lineup of matches in 2023. You got so many potential match of the year candidates. You got so many sleeper matches that could absolutely blow the roof off the Scotiabank Arena on Sunday night. I'm so hyped. I'm just really impressed with what Tony Khan did with this card here, and he went full guns blazing, man. And for all the people on social media, again, I don't associate myself with the wrestling community. I associate with a few people from the wrestling community. I associate, of course, with these guys. These are legit my friends. Um, what was I gonna say? You have all these morons saying how, oh, there's no story for so and so match. There's no story. Why should I care? Listen, Forbidden. If this was a show like Revolution and there was no story going into some matches, I might understand you. I could get your frustration. But this is the one show per year where no story in the matches. Stories don't matter. It's about in-ring dream matches. And you're getting dream matches on this show. Omega versus Osprey, Danielson versus Okada. You're getting MJF versus Tanahashi. Forbidden Door is not about storytelling. Forbidden Door is about dream matches, and that's exactly what we're getting on Sunday night. You guys have anything else to add before we get into the predictions? Because we got a laundry list of matches to talk about.
If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a legitimate wrestling fan, why do you need a story to be told between Okada and Danielson? If you're a legitimate wrestling fan, like, why do you need a story to be told with Okada and Danielson? Soon as Okada Danielson is announced, you should go out your power to watch this. Soon as the bookers announced, soon as the bookers announced, and Brian Danielson will be wrestling, and Brian Danielson will be wrestling Okada. You need to have y'all, if you look wherever you live, if you can attend this show, you need to have your ass in front of your TV screen at the arena. It don't matter. Why do you need a story for that? Why do you need a story for that? Let me ask you this. People asking that. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let's say we still had a prime Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, let's say we still had a prime Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we put him in there with a prime Hulk Hogan. Are you one of the people that's going to sit there and say, oh, man, I need a story for this match, or, oh, man, I need a story for this match? Or are you a person that's going to say, as soon as this match is announced, park my ass up the television and watch this match? Because I know which one I'm doing.
You
I
don't.
know which one I'm
Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan.
Thank you. Thank you. But to each their own. I don't see why you need a story for Okada Danielson if you're a legitimate wrestling fan. Because the match is going to slap. Because the match is going to be a banger. It has the potential to be one of the best matches of all time with two of the best wrestlers of all time. But, that's just me.
Wes?
Yeah, honestly, even with Okada and Danielson, there even is a little bit of a story. They're not a big one, but like they're both trying to prove who's the best wrestler in the world. Danielson's heard all the rumbles about how Okada's best wrestler, and Danielson has something to say about that. So there you go. There's a little bit of, you don't need like a long-term booking storytelling thing to happen between these two guys. It's like they're both trying to prove who the best wrestler in the world is. That was the same thing with Danielson and Omega when they first squared up. It's like, about Omega being possibly the best wrestler in the world, and he wanted to see if Omega is who he says he really is or who others say he is. And they went one-on-one, and it was one of the best matches we will probably ever see in this lifetime. Again, it's like Forbidden Door is one of those shows where the exception in there is that the priority doesn't have to be storytelling. It doesn't have to be even even with these matches, you're going to get some storytelling even with these matches. But like the storytelling can happen in the ring too. So like that's the thing. But you know how the internet wrestling community is. They complain for just the sake of complaining because they don't have nothing better to do with their miserable lives. So let's just complain about this great thing that is actually happening for wrestling. Because you look at the grand scale, it's a great thing for wrestling. It's the minute group of people that think, oh, this is bad for the business. There's no storylines. There's no this. There's no that. Oh, this show is going to be a flop. Okay. Well, that's, keep thinking that all you want. Keep living miserably while us real wrestling fans are actually going to be here Sunday night, planted to our couch, watching on the television screen, Omega and Osprey putting on a 5-star classic, same Danielson and Okada. We're going to be here enjoying it while you want to sit in your mother's basement, most likely, and cry about it. So,
yeah.
So
I can't get into this show. There's no story behind it.
I don't get it, man. It's the best match card of the entire year. Just sit back and enjoy the goddamn show, okay? Stop crying. Seriously. But before we get into these matches, if you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out last night's AEW Dynamite review here on the channel, the Go Home Show for this Forbidden Door pay-per-view. We saw Okada, we saw Ishii, we saw Minoru Suzuki last night on Dynamite. So if you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check that out. And by the way, do y'all think Minoru Suzuki made Sammy Guevara jealous with that pose?
he might. I mean, I don't know. He pulled it off pretty well. He might have made Sammy just a little bit jealous, but I guess we'll see how that story unfolds a little more on Sunday. So
That was hilarious.
I haven't seen the post, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh, dude. It was hilarious, dude. It was good stuff. So, but let's dive into this matches. We got 11 matches on the card, 10 confirmed for the main card. Well, 9, but we have 10 matches. Let's start with the buy-in. We have the Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena taking on Billie Stark. This is a first-round matchup in the Owen Hart Cup tournament, which was announced last night on Dynamite. What we'll do here is last night I was able to give my predictions on the Owen Hart Cup tournament for the men's and women's. We'll talk about the men's match right after this. So we'll do the women's first. I was able to give my predictions for the women's Owen Hart Cup. So what we'll do, we'll pick the winner for this match, and then you guys can do your predictions for the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament that was announced last night. For this buy-in match, I'm gonna take Athena. She's just so damn good, and she's having a great reign as Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She's really doing some good work over there. Would I like to see her back in AEW? Yes, but right now she's doing so good in Ring of Honor. It is nice to have her in AEW, a part of this tournament, and she could win the tournament. I don't think she's going to, but I do think she's going to pick up the victory here in the buy-in pre-show against Billie Stark. Wes, take it away. And then you could give your predictions for the actual tournament too.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you, Joseph. I think Athena takes the win here over Billie Starks. Athena, yeah, she's been doing great as Ring of Honor Women's Champion. This heel turn for her has just been a great resurgence for her character. I feel like it's done nothing but wonders for her, and I'm looking forward to seeing her wrestle on the pay-per-view here, and I definitely think she's going to pick up the win here. As far as the tournament goes, I'm looking forward to both the men's and women's tournaments. I feel like the women's tournament is a little bit more unpredictable than the men's. I feel like the men's is pretty predictable, like where we see how these matches are going to set up. But with the women, I feel like there's a couple different routes you can go. Certain matches like with Britt Baker, Sky Blue, and Will Nightingale even being there. I feel like there's some scenarios that could play out there. We could see, play into this tournament. So I will give my take on that. But yeah, I don't know if I want to call like who wins the tournaments because I feel like I'll save that for later down the road. But I am excited for these tournaments. I feel like we're going to be in for some great matches on both the men and the women's side, and I'm looking forward to the storytelling we'll probably see in these cups as well. So it's going to be fun. But as far as this first round match goes, Athena takes the dub over Billie Starks.
Okay. So you're saving your pick for later.
I'll save it for later. I don't want to give too much away now. I have some thoughts in my head, but I don't want to get too.
Gotcha, Cam.
I think first off, it's the easiest match on the show to predict. Athena is beating Billie Starks. I love Billie Starks, but Athena's winning. Hopefully, this isn't the last of Billie Starks that we see in AEW. In AEW, I think she's on one of those tier contracts. I think she's on one of those tier contracts. Same thing with Nick Wayne. So same thing with Nick Wayne. So hopefully, Billie Starks can get signed to an AEW deal. Billie Starks is great. But Athena's going to win here in terms of what I have in the finals. For the women, I think it's Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho. I think it's Willow and Ruby Soho in the finals. with Ruby. I could see Ruby getting the tournament. So, I could see Ruby getting the tournament. So, that way the Outcast is something to cling on to. Tony Storm's the AEW Women's Champion. And, Ruby Soho's the Owen Hart Cup winner. I could see those two. I could see the two of them on TV together showing off their belts as obnoxious heels. So I could see that. For the men, I got Samoa Joe and Ricky Starks. I got Samoa Joe and Ricky Starks the finals with Joe winning this one. With Joe winning this one.
Wow.
Dustin Rhodes would be Joe and Dustin would be the second pick if I had to take a guess. But I got Joe and Starks for the men, and I got Willow and Ruby for the win.
Wow. Okay. So that's a bold prediction for the men's. Let's get into the main card for Forbidden Door. Let's get into that first Owen Hart Cup match for the men. We have CM Punk taking on Satoshi Kojima from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and originally this match was going to be CM Punk versus Kenta. And rumors were super weird about this match. At first, there was Kenta wants to do the match. He wants his bag. That's what he's been saying. If you give me the bag, I'll do the match. And then he's back yesterday. Reports were coming out that Kenta doesn't want to work with CM Punk at Forbidden Door anymore. We don't know who CM Punk's going to face. They have all these options for Punk. I was hearing people say Jeff Cobb, El Phantasmo, Kojima. Eventually, they went with Kojima. I would have liked it to been Jeff Cobb. I think that would have been a great match. But I'm fine with Kojima. I said this last night on Dynamite, and I'll say it again. I just think that's an absolute bitch move by Kenta. He's been bragging on Twitter for years that CM Punk, he stole his finisher and he wants to teach him a lesson and he wants to beat his ass in the ring and stuff like that. Him and CM Punk have been going back at it on Twitter for years. So now in 2023, the opportunity is right in front of you, and now you don't want to wrestle. You don't want to wrestle CM Punk. I just think that's kind of a coward move by Kenta. I don't know if he was pitched the idea that, hey, we want Punk in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And if they gave him the idea that he's going out in the first round of this tournament, he might have been like, fuck that, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out in round one of a tournament that I'm not even in a promotion at. So that might have been his decision, but it's disappointing. But I'm hopefully we'll still get the match later down the line. But we're getting Punk versus Kojima. I think it should be a fine match. This is going to be CM Punk's first singles match back in 9 months and his return to pay-per-view. And we saw Kojima in 2021 at All Out against CM Punk. And he's a hard hitter, man. So could be a hard-hitting match maybe. But this is the most predictable match on the entire card. Punk is winning. There's no way he's losing. And Cam, that's a bold prediction saying Samoa Joe and Ricky Starks in the finals. I just don't think there's a world where we don't see CM Punk winning this tournament. So I gotta say,
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, well, I think the reason why Punk is getting bounced out in the second round here, for one, is because I think they're gonna. One, I think it would be stupid not to continue. For one, I think it would be stupid if we get Punk and Joe in the second round and they don't continue the story of CM Punk not being able to beat Samoa Joe. Because to me, Because to me, because to me, a Punk and Joe feud in particular with that story, that's an all-in match. That's an all-out match. That's a match that they can that's a match that they can always circle back. That's a match they can always circle back to. With with the fact that Punk has with the fact that Punk has wins over a lot of all-time great talents: John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge. John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge, Bryan Danielson, Jeff Hardy. Punk has wins over NJF. He has wins over all these all-time great talents, but the one man, but Punk can't beat one man. He can't get one monkey off his back. He cannot beat Samoa Joe. I like that story rather than the story just being Punk beat Samoa Joe whenever they meet again. So and I trust Tony Khan with the story, in terms of the stories department. So me personally, that's what I think they're kind of going for. That's what I hope they go for. And I certainly don't hope they have CM Punk just beat Samoa Joe on like a random episode of Dynamite or a random episode of Collision. Because to me, there's a story there to be told. Because to me, there's a story there to be told with Punk never being able to beat Samoa Joe. I mean, that's the story there. So I mean, that's why I have Joe beating Punk. Because I hope they're not stupid enough to blow off, a Punk Joe match and have Punk win without them telling a story behind it on pay-per-view where Punk ultimately beats Samoa Joe. But that's just me.
Dude, you might have convinced me a little bit. That's actually a very good reasoning. You might have convinced me on it. I'm not going full. I'm not going all in, but that's a damn good story. Wes, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an interesting route they could go. It would make things a little bit more unpredictable with the men's side because I feel like, like I said, I feel like the men's side is very predictable. And when it comes to the women, I feel like I said, it's more unpredictable for the women's bracket compared to the men's. But as far as this match goes with Punk and Kojima, Punk's obviously winning. That's an easy choice there. Another one of the easily predictable matches on this show. Should be a good match. I'm looking forward to it. Kojima's a good worker, and he's obviously a legend in Japan as well. So I think these two will put on a really solid match. But Punk is the obvious choice here. He will win and go on to face more than likely Samoa Joe in the second round.
We have a 10-man tag, which was announced last night. It was a part of the last angle of Dynamite last night. We have Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta teaming up with Konosuke Takeshita and old shooter Shota Umino to face the Young Bucks, Adam Hangman Page, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii. This match should be very chaotic. Very chaotic match with 10 people in there. Should be interesting. Should be interesting. I'm going to give this one to Cam first.
Let's see. 10-man tag here. Uh, let's see. I think the Elite are going to win this match here. But I think the Elite are going to win this match here. But in terms of what I think would be the better story, I think the better story would be the Blackpool Combat Club winning here. The Elite, the Elite are bulletproof in this company. The Elite are bulletproof. I don't know if Tony Khan, I don't know if Tony Khan would be comfortable with the Elite taking back-to-back pay-per-view losses. They lost that. They lost that Double or Nothing. I don't know if Tony Khan would want them to lose here, but to me they should. To me they should have back-to-back pay-per-view losses. To me that help. In my opinion, that helps. In my opinion, that helps further escalate the feud with. That helps further escalate the feud with them in the BCC. The BCC can be like, well, the BCC can go on TV, and they can, BCC can go on TV. They can brag about how they're really the only team. How about about how they're really the only people on pay per view to beat. They're only, excuse me, how they're the only people in the company to beat the Elite twice on pay-per-views. I don't know why the fuck that was so hard to say. I'm sorry, but they could always go on TV bragging about that. And the Elite are bulletproof. The Elite don't really need a win here, so I could always see that playing into the story here. But I think the Elite win. I think the Elite are going to get this win here. So,
Wes?
Yeah, it's very interesting going into this match. It's going to be chaotic, like you said, Joseph. But I think the BCC will get the win here. I can see the scenario play out with the back-to-back pay-per-view losses with the Elite. It kind of puts that whole back against the wall mentality on the Elite. Like, we lost twice in a row, and like, what do we do now? And I still think the blood and guts match is going to eventually happen with these two factors. I feel like that's like it's got to happen. If there's a feud that needs a blood and guts match, it's this one right here. And I think we're ultimately going to get that. When and where, I'm not sure just yet. I mean, we are getting closer and closer to All In. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of speculation on what we could see going into All In. I know, we're all very excited to see what that card. I mean, it's going to be an all-timer card regardless of whatever happens. But I think the BCC picks up the win here. They gain more momentum, and it makes them look more legit. Because now, again, it's like Cam, it's like you said, the scenario playing out of like they go on TV the next Wednesday on Dynamite, and they say, "Oh, we got back-to-back wins over the Elite." And John Moxley's been saying for weeks now that they are the true elite of all elite wrestling. So I could definitely see that continuing to pan out for BCC. So that's why I'm going with them. And also Eddie Kingston being with the elite, I feel like there's going to be dysfunction there because Kingston is not, he doesn't like the elite, doesn't respect them, and there's no true cohesion with them. And plus, you got the whole dilemma between him and John Moxley right now. He doesn't want to fight Moxley. Moxley doesn't want to fight Eddie either because they're both as close as brothers, and they don't want to put hands on each other. I feel like they will put hands on each other in this match. It's like eventually, it won't happen immediately, but I think like getting like towards the climax of the match, I think they're going to start throwing hands at each other. But I think that little dysfunction there with Kingston the Elite is going to end up costing them, and we're going to see BCC pick up the win here.
Yep.
I could see I could see that coming into the finish of this match here, where let's say it's Moxley who gets the winning fall. I can see Eddie Kingston seeing Moxley. I can see Eddie Kingston. I could see Eddie Kingston seeing Moxley cover. Let's just use Hangman in this example, but Eddie just doesn't do anything about it because he doesn't want to fight Moxley. I can see that. I can see that factoring into this match here. So.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Blackpool Combat Club to Takeshita and Shooter as well. And that's exactly why I think they're going to lose, is because Eddie Kingston said last night on Dynamite that he doesn't like the Elite. He doesn't respect the Elite. He doesn't respect the Young Bucks. He doesn't trust the Young Bucks. And I think that the Blackpool Combat Club are going to use that to their advantage, and they're going to see that, and they're going to take advantage. And I do think at some point in the match, Moxley and Kingston, they'll throw a couple elbows at each other, but it won't be anything too crazy because I think they'll save that for more down the line. But I think that it'll mostly be Eddie. I think the downfall will start where Eddie is going absolutely crazy on Claudio because this man just absolutely cannot stand Claudio Castagnoli. So he's going to go for the spinning back fist, and he's accidentally going to hit one of the Young Bucks, or he's accidentally going to hit Hangman Page, and that's going to piss off. That's going to piss off, the other members of the team, and the heels are going to take a full advantage of that. So heels win. I believe that's a clean sweep for this 10-man tag, with all of us going with the Blackpool Combat Club. Let's get into spoiler alert. There was a match made official on Rampage last night. So if you don't want to find out, I would skip maybe a couple minutes, maybe 2 or 3, and you won't find out. But anyway, we got a match. Adam Cole has a match at Forbidden Door. He's taking on Filthy Tom Lawyer from New Japan Pro Wrestling. MJF was on Rampage last night for the first time ever. How crazy. What a moment. I'm just kidding. But he set this whole thing up. And we have Adam Cole against Tom Lawyer. And Adam Cole's going to win. Match will probably be good. But there's no way Adam Cole's losing. So that's an easy one. Wes?
Yeah, I agree with you there. Adam Cole's definitely getting the win over Tom Lawler. Should be a great match. I think these two will work really well together. But ultimately, Adam Cole will pick up the dub here, much to the dismay of MJF. I know MJF doesn't want that to be the outcome, but we all know it's the obvious outcome. And I will say I'm very much looking forward to this tag team cohesion between himself and MJF. That's going to be very entertaining. Can they coexist? The Can They Coexist storyline has made its way into AEW. Unbelievable. See it time and time again in WWE, and now it's made its way to AEW. Unbelievable. But I'm highly certain that we will probably see much more satisfying results in these Can They Coexist storyline in AEW compared to all the many times WWE does it over and over again for just about a lot of their feuds. So, but it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, if anybody can pull it off, I think it'll be MJF and Adam Cole.
Exactly.
Cam?
I think this one's easy. Adam Cole is going to win this one because Adam Cole is being built up for a championship match with MJF, either at All In or at All Out. But I'm happy to see my boy Filthy Tom Lawler on the AEW television. I love Filthy Tom. That's my boy right there. Happy to see him on the AEW television. Happy to see him on the AEW television on pay-per-view like this. I love Filthy Tom. But Adam Cole's going to win. But Filthy Tom Lawler is great.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of his work, so it'll be one of my very few times of seeing Tom Lawler and him in the ring with a guy like Adam Cole. It should be fun, man. Adam Cole's fucking great. So, moving on here, we have the AEW International Championship on the line. Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship against Katsuyori Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr., and Daniel Garcia, as I believe Victor Wembanyama just got chosen by the Spurs. That's what I'm seeing at the television. But for this four-way match, I mean, I tweeted it out last night. This could honestly be the sleeper match of the night. Everybody's going to be talking about Okada, Danielson, Omega, Ospreay going into this show. The amount of talent in this match, man. You got Orange Cassidy, Shibata, Daniel Garcia is underrated. All these guys in the ring together, man. It should be. They might tear the house down. This might be at the end of the night, tomorrow, the day after. We're talking how awesome that Fatal 4-Way match was for the International Championship. And I think it's a nice dynamic because somewhat they're all technical wrestlers. Shibata's technical, Zack Sabre Jr. is technical, Daniel Garcia is technical, and when Orange Cassidy wants to get technical, he can get technical. Orange Cassidy is a great wrestler. Don't forget that, folks. But the result of this match, Shibata is Ring of Honor Pure Champion, and Zack Sabre Jr. is New Japan Television Champion. So they're not winning because they don't need to. And that leaves Daniel Garcia. And I think with this unbelievable reign that Orange Cassidy's been on for we're closing in on 9 months very soon. I think just for him to lose to Daniel Garcia would be super disappointing. So Orange Cassidy's going to retain, and just as always, he's going to find a way. Wes?
I agree. I think Orange Cassidy retains here. And like you said, Joseph, it should be a sleeper match of the night. I think a lot of people, I feel like there's people out there that don't realize that how great this match is potentially going to be. You got 4 guys in there that can really work. And, you know, like you said, it's going to be a technical masterclass, especially when you like Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr. there who have made their specialty is technical wrestling. But like you mentioned, Joseph, I mean, we already got 2 other champions in this match, and Shibata being the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. being the New Japan Television Champion. The only one without a title going into this match is Daniel Garcia. But like you said, Garcia winning would just be disappointing. No offense to Daniel Garcia. He will definitely get his time for sure. But I feel like Cassidy's reign should not end this way. Cassidy's reign needs to end in a much more momentous way, especially with the reign he's had. Arguably pretty much being the best champion in AEW. You could legit argue he's been AEW's best champion, and that's it. And we have MJF as the world champion. So again, you could argue all you want. I mean, who is better? I mean, I think you'd have a valid argument with either side. But Cassidy has been built perfectly as champion. He's been a wonderful international champion, holding on to the belt for close to 9 months now. But I don't think it ends here. I think he's going to find a way like he always does, and Cassidy will retain over Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr., and Daniel Garcia.
Cam?
Orange Cassidy is winning this match. Orange Cassidy better win this match because that international title better be finding its way on Roosh in the upcoming months. I will continue to ride this bandwagon alone if I have to. I will continue to ride this bandwagon alone if I have to until it happens. Until it happens. I've said before and I'll say it again. Orange Cassidy needs to drop the All Atlantic. Needs to drop the International Championship to Rouge. But Orange Cassidy's going to win here, and it's going to be a fantastic match. This is going to be but Orange Cassidy's going to retain the championship here, and this is going to be a fun match. Are you kidding me? You got Cassidy, Garcia, Saber, and Shibata all in the same end. Oh my god, that's a recipe for fun right there. Oh my god, but yeah, Orange Cassidy's winning. Orange Cassidy's returning.
Another clean sweep from the fellas. The AEW Women's Championship is on the line. New Japan Strong Women's Champion Willow Nightingale challenges AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm. And listen, I've been gassing up Willow Nightingale on the Collision review I did. Wes knows because we were talking about it. She's got a lot of potential. She's going to be a champion very soon, in my opinion. She's probably the right person to beat Athena for that Ring of Honor title. She's great, but man, with all due respect, I look at this match and I realized, man, this should have been Mercedes Moné. If we lived in a perfect world, this match was going to be Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm, and we missed out on it, man. I'm upset. But I'll give this match to Cam first. Willow Nightingale versus Toni Storm.
Well, first off, Toni Storm is retaining the AEW Women's World Championship here. But you know, Willow Nightingale reminds me of before they called her up to the main roster, before they fucked up. She reminds me of Bailey. She reminds me of 20. She reminds me of baby. She reminds me of babyface Bailey, like 2014, 2015 Bailey. That's who Willow Nightingale reminds me of, man. How could anybody hate Willow Nightingale? She comes out each week, big old smile on her face. Her theme song is great. Who can possibly hate this woman, bro? If you hate Willow Nightingale, I hate you. If you hate Willow Nightingale, something's not right about you, man. You need to go seek help. But Willow Nightingale is great. This woman is fantastic. She's been a breath of fresh air in the AEW. She's been a breath of fresh air in the AEW in this division. She really has. She really has. But Toni Storm is retaining the AEW Women's World Championship here. So Toni Storm is winning here. But Willow Nightingale will be a champion in AEW one day, either a TBS champion or the women's champion one day. But Willow Nightingale got this on lock. She gonna be a champion one day.
Wes.
Yeah, Cam, I love that you brought that up because, like, on the Collision review this past Saturday, I brought up how Willow Nightingale gives me a lot of Bailey vibes. Because I mean, it's true. I mean, you compare the both characters. There's a lot of similarities, and also how much you look how over they are too with the crowd. I mean, like, it gives off very, very similar vibes, and they both can work really well in the ring. So Willow Nightingale has got a bright future ahead of her. She's young. She's very talented. She's definitely, undoubtedly, going to be a future either women's world champion or TBS champion in AEW. And Joseph, you brought up how she could potentially take that Ring of Honor women's title off Athena. I could very well see that happen. They already had a banger of a match on one of the first episodes of Ring of Honor television. And I mean, the future is bright for Willow Nightingale, man. She's a star in the making. But it's not going to be her night this Sunday because I, as well, am picking Toni Storm to retain the AEW Women's World Championship over Willow Nightingale. Plus, you have Willow Nightingale in the Owen Cup. She already has something booked for her ahead of time here in the future. So that it would make even less sense for her to win the Women's World title when she's already New Japan Strong Champion. Plus, she's already going to be in the Owen tournament. So, but this should be a great match. I'm very much looking forward to seeing these two women work together for the Forbidden Door card this Sunday night. But Toni Storm ultimately is going to retain that AEW Women's World Championship.
Yeah, I'm taking Toni Storm too. It should be a good match. I hope these ladies get a lot of time, like a good solid amount of time to do their stuff and put on a good match because they have the capability of doing it. They're both really good. And unfortunately, right now is not Willow's time. Right, she's incredibly over though. She's doing really good, and she's going to be a champion sooner rather than later. I think she's already the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Um, so it'll be a good match, and I'm going to take Tony Storm. I'm going to take Tony Storm to retain. We go from the Women's Championship to the World Championship. We have MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He is defending the World Championship against the Ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, who on the night before Forbidden Door has a match with Swerve Strickland on Collision. That should be really good, dude. I'm excited for that match.
So excited for that match. That's going to be crazy.
That's going to be really good, dude. As far as this match goes, I'm going to give it to Wes first.
Okay. Well, I think this is another easy choice here. MJF is going to retain the AEW World Championship and continue his reign of terror over All Elite Wrestling. But what a matchup this is going to be. MJF refusing to be a part of Forbidden Door, but he eventually caved in. Adam Cole convinced him to take the match from Hiroshi Tanahashi, and just the best way possible. It was so entertaining, their segment on Dynamite last night. Adam Cole just egging him on, like, oh, so you're saying that Tanahashi's better than you, right? And I love it, man. I love that. Once again, Adam Cole best MJF in a battle of wits, and he convinces him to cave in to the pressure, and that's exactly what happened. MJF Tanahashi should be a great, great match. Obviously, Hiroshi Tanahashi, we know how great of a wrestler he is. He's one of the biggest legends in all of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now this is one of MJF's biggest tests yet, going up against the legend and the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. These two should have a great one, but ultimately MJF is going to retain that AEW World Championship. It's not going to be the Ace's time on Sunday night. I hate to say it, but it will not be Tanahashi's time, as MJF will retain that big old Burberry belt, the AEW World Championship.
There's 3 matches on the. I'm looking forward to a lot of matches on the show, as I should be because the lineup is stacked. But there's 3 matches in particular that I'm extremely looking forward to the most. Obviously, Omega Ospreay, Danielson Okada, and the other one is Hiroshi Tanahashi and MJF. I think they could work a really good match together. I think the crowd is going to be really into this match too. I just think that the dynamic of MJF and Tanahashi, it could work. And MJF and the way I think he's going to treat Tanahashi like trash throughout this match because MJF does not respect New Japan Pro Wrestling. MJF actually hates New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Called New Japan a Ricky Dink Indie Fest.
I know. He called New Japan independent. As that's MJF for you, but I think this is going to be a really good match. There's going to be points in the match where Tanahashi, you think he's going to win, but he's really not. And I think MJF is going to win this match by any means necessary and retain his world championship. Cam?
Before we get into this, I just want to say I hate. Before we get into this, I just want to say I hate the fact that I have the Charlotte Hornets as a basketball. But I have the Charlotte Hornets as a basketball team here in North Carolina because these dumb idiots passed on Scoot Henderson. My lord. Okay, but I'm back now. I'm sorry. I just had to get that off your chest. I'm back now. MJ, this is another easy prediction. MJF is beating Hiroshi Tanahashi. I love Tanahashi, but MJF is winning this match here. I don't really even know why I don't even know why this needs to be a prediction, but frankly, MJF is winning this match here. But this is gonna be an incredible match here. Hiroshi Tanahashi, even though he is very beat up, and even though Tanahashi is very beat up, Tanahashi is still one hell of a professional wrestler. And MJF has been on an absolutely incredible run since winning the AEW title. You look at his matches with Bryan Danielson. You look at his matches with Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Takeshita, the 4-way he had at Double or Nothing. MJF has been on an absolutely incredible run. So this is going to be an absolutely incredible match here. I have no doubt about that. But MJF is beating Tanahashi on Sunday. He's beating Tanahashi on Sunday. He's going to send Tanahashi back to that inky dink, back to that rinky dink indie fed known as New Japan. Tanahashi's going to be sent packing right back to that rinky dink indie fed, unfortunately. But MJF is winning.
Oh boy, yeah. MJF retains the AEW World Championship and continues his reign of terror. We also had another match made on Dynamite last night. By the way, we got 4 more matches to talk about for this show. Made on Dynamite last night. It's going to be confirmed on Collision. We have Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki, Murder Grandpa, taking on Sting, Darby Allin, and a mystery opponent. And Jericho says, Darby Allin says that we know who our partner's going to be, and you've made a lot of enemies in a lot of places, so obviously it's going to be someone from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And with Jericho's past in New Japan, it's not going to be Kenny Omega, it's not going to be Tanahashi, it's not going to be Okada, so that leaves out Tetsuya Naito. And that's going to be the mystery partner for Sting and Darby Allin. It's going to be Sting and Darby teaming up with Tetsuya Naito. And you know what? I'm taking Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki to win this match. And my reasoning behind it is this is only the first AEW altercation between Chris Jericho and Sting. They are really trying to get that over on you. That, hey, this is the first altercation between Jericho and Sting. Now this is the first match ever, I think, in their careers that they're going to have against each other. They're going to be in the ring with each other Sunday night on pay-per-view. I don't think this is the only time. And Sting is retiring at the end of this year. He's hanging up the boots very, very soon. And I think possibly his opponent in his retirement match could be Chris Jericho. I don't know if that's going to be at All In. I don't know if it's going to be at All Out. I don't know if they're dragging it all the way to Full Gear. But what I know is I don't think this is going to be the first time we see Jericho and Sting in the ring together in AEW. And for that reason, I think Jericho, and the first time they're in the ring together, gets the upper hand. He might not get along with Sammy Guevara during the match like he did last night. There was definitely some heat between Jericho and Guevara last night. And we're going to get to that match when we get there. But obviously, AEW is really trying to push this story between Chris Jericho and Sting. So I think Sting's retirement match could be against Chris Jericho. And I'm gonna take the heels. I'm gonna take Jericho, Sammy, and Minoru Suzuki. Cam?
I'm taking the dudes with attitude. I'm taking Darby, Sting, and I think it is going to be Tetsuya Naito. I keep in mind I am a casual New Japan fan, so I think so I have no idea if Naito. I know Naito suffered an injury a while ago, but I don't know if he's back for it. I think Naito's back from his injury. Again, I'm a casual New Japan fan, so I don't know. But if Naito's back from his injury, then I'm going with Naito as the mystery partner. Then I'm going with Naito as the mystery partner, and that's going to be a lot of fun. If not Naito, I saw this on Twitter. I swear to God, I do not want this to be the name. I saw Bill Goldberg
That's not.
as a consideration on Twitter. And I don't think it's him. I think I was just Twitter trolling. I hope it's not him. If not Goldberg, then I'm going to go with Shingo Takagi. If not Goldberg, then I'm going to go with Shingo Takagi. But I think Naito's probably the mystery partner here. And I think the dudes with attitude win. I think it's going to be miscommunication from Jericho and Sammy. And I think it's going to further the split with Sammy Guevara leaving the inner circle. I think that's going to further the split with Sammy Guevara leaving the inner circle and Sammy Guevara and that leading to a Jericho Sammy Guevara match, whether that be at the end of the year, whether that be at All In or whatever. But before we get the match, I think we're going to get Jericho and Sammy against Sting and Darby. But I think the dudes with attitude are winning this match
Wes?
Yeah, I agree with Cam. I think seeing Darby and the mystery partner as well. I'm also predicting to be Naito. I think that makes the most sense. Honestly, when I did see when this announcement was made last night on Dynamite, the initial thought in my head was Goldberg, but I quickly thought away from that because I was like, what the fuck does Goldberg have to do with New Japan?
Nothing.
Like absolutely nothing. So, and also, fuck Goldberg in AEW, please. Like, no, absolutely. I don't care what kind of star power he might still hold. The dude is not a safe worker. He gets fucking gas from his entrance alone. So no Goldberg in AEW. Thank you. But yeah, no, I think Naito is gonna be the mystery partner, and I'm also going with Darby, Singh, and Naito to win over Sammy, Jericho, and Suzuki. And Cam, like you said, I think that we're gonna have that dysfunction between Sammy and Jericho because Sammy, I think they're trying to portray him again as a babyface. They're trying to push him back into that babyface role now that he's about to become a new dad, and they're trying to kind of shed some light on his character again. And I think Sammy's gonna start steering away from Jericho free society, and we're ultimately gonna see him go his own path again. And we'll definitely get a match between him and Jericho somewhere down the line. I don't know when yet. But Jericho saying one-on-one, that's definitely going to happen down the line. I could see it happen at All In. I could see it happen at All Out. But I think before the year is over, we're going to get Jericho and Sting one-on-one. But I think Sting, Darby, and Naito get the win here over the trio of Jericho, Sammy, and Suzuki. Should be a great match. I'm very much looking forward to it. Looking forward to the interaction between Sting and Jericho. First time ever face to face in the ring, squaring up. Should be really fun. Darby, of course, that dude's going to die in a million ways, and it's going to be the most entertaining thing we'll ever see. And Naito, we all know how great Naito is. For those who have watched New Japan, you've watched Naito matches, you know how great the dude is. And Suzuki, that freaking murder grandpa dude is gonna fucking kill somebody with a forearm in this match, and that's gonna be fucking wonderful too. So this should be great. But again, Darby, Sting, and Naito will pick up that big old dub this Sunday night.
Okay.
You know what? You gotta hold up before. You know what I'm gonna need? Yeah, they just need to throw this out on AEW Dynamite one night. One night as a fuck it. They need to just throw this on AEW TV one night as a fuck it. Give me Suzuki and Sting. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. 60-something-year-old Sting in there with 50-something-year-old Minoru Suzuki. The battle of the grandpas. Fuck it. I think that'd be extremely entertaining. Tony Khan just does fuck it one day and just books that on television. That's what I want to see personally. But
That would be sheer entertainment. That's never going to happen, but that would be entertainment. That's for sure. But okay, I'm finally on an opposite side. I'm taking the heels in this, man, while you guys are taking the baby faces. Let's move on. We have we have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Sonata defends against Jungle Boy. And I think this should be a good match. I think they'll have a very good match, but I don't know. I feel like this match should be bigger than it is. I just don't feel like for a world championship match, it just doesn't feel big at all. One thing about last year's Forbidden Door compared to this is last year's IWGP World Title match, you had star power in there. This year, I don't know. I mean, I like Jungle Boy. He's great. I like Sonata. He's a good worker too. But I don't know. Something about this. Something feels off about this match. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. But um, something feels off. And as far as the result goes, again, another predictable match. I'm going to take Sonata to retain. Wes?
I agree. I think Sonata will retain, but ultimately, it may not have had so much build-up going into this thing, and it may not feel as big as it should. But with Hook being in the corner of Jungle Boy this Sunday night, all the talks I've been hearing and we've even talked about it as well on the channel. I think we are officially getting the heel turn of Jungle Boy Jack Perry this Sunday night after he fails to capture an IWGP Heavyweight title against. I mean, he has Hook in his corner, Jungle Hook, right? They're a thing again. He called Hook his best friend a few weeks back on Dynamite. It seems a little. When you really look into it, it seems a little. His best friend, huh? Seems it felt like that was a little too endearing there, and I think Jungle Boy. It's been talked about. MJF brought it up during the feud with the Four Pillars. That Jungle Boy doesn't have that killer instinct. They even played into that during the match where he held the title in his hand, but he just couldn't bring himself to hit Darby over the head with the world title, and so he threw it away. And that ultimately costed him the AEW World title. Now he's got another chance at another World Championship as he faces Sonata for the IWGP Heavyweight title. And once again, he will fail to capture another title. And I think at that point, Jungle Boy loses to Sonata, Sonata wins, and Jungle Boy snaps right then and there, middle of the ring, him and Hook. And we see Hollywood heel Jungle Boy Jack Perry come to life in AEW. And honestly, I'm all for it. I think it's a nice change in his character. And I mean, if it doesn't happen this Sunday, it's going to happen somewhere else. But I think this Sunday is the perfect opportunity you strike right there. He loses the title and he loses his shit and beats up one of the most over acts in all of AEW, Hook. We all love us some Hook. We all are Hook stands around here. And Hook getting beat up on by Jungle Boy is going, I mean, that Canadian crowd is going to go absolutely fucking berserk when they see their boy Hook get his face bashed in by Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and they're going to want to fucking riot and beat the living shit out of Jack Perry themselves. But obviously they can't do that because they would go to jail for that because fans can't go over the barricade, obviously. But I think we see the heel turn of Jungle Boy commence this Sunday night after he fails to capture gold against Sonata. But should be a great match. Looking forward to it. But I think that's the biggest story coming out of this match.
Cam?
It's just Sonata is winning. Sonata's winning this match here. Joseph is, like he said, the star part in this match here. And again, I'm a casual New Japan fan, so I don't know how somebody who is a hardcore New Japan fan or like an avid watcher of it might feel about this. They might feel differently of it. But to be honest with you, I just don't think Sonata's that big a name. I just don't think Sonata's that big a name yet. Like, I'm happy as hell, I'm happy as hell Sonata's getting the opportunity to run with the IWGP title. I've been a Sonata fan going back to his day. I've been a Sonata fan. I've been a Sonata fan going back to his days when he was in going back to his days when he was in TNA with James Storm. Going back to TNA with James Storm, he was the X Division champion. I've been a fan going back then, but maybe he's just not as big of a name as like an Okada, it's like an Okada or a Naito, or Tanahashi or an Ospreay is yet. Where an Ospreay is yet, so that's probably why this match feels like it doesn't have the star power. But Sonata's winning and Jungle Boy's going heel. Wes, in the 25, 26 years you've been on this earth, Joseph, for the 19 years you've been on this earth, for the 20 years you've been on this earth, for the 21, almost 22 years I've been on this earth, I know one thing and one thing only. Somebody looks at you and calls you my best friend, you're getting fucked up. At that moment, he gonna fuck you up. I've been watching wrestling long enough to know this. I can't get fooled. I know when a heel turn and when an angle is coming. I cannot get fooled. And so that's what's going to happen here. That is what's going to happen here. Jungle Boy is going to lose this match. He's going to beat the piss out of Hook. He is going to beat the absolute shit out of Hook. I hope Taz warned him. I hope his dad warned Hook of what's going to happen to him. Because he's going to get the shit beat out of him this Sunday by Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy going to beat the absolute shit out of him. We're going to get Hollywood Jack Perry out of this. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. But Sonata's retaining the IWGP title.
A heel turn is much needed for Jungle Boy. His character is not the best right now, and I think a heel turn could change it. Is he going to turn heel on Sunday? I have to find out and watch. But we're getting into the two biggest matches on the show, and we're talking about IWGP United States Championship Match 2 between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Um, Don Callis has been talking about building his family for a number of weeks now on Dynamite, ever since he's recruited Takeshita. Last night he had a segment with Will Ospreay saying that he was going to get Ospreay his own security to Canada because Canada is just full of pieces of shit. Which, by the way, Cam, 2 picks away until the Indiana Pacers are up, my man. So just alarming you, just getting you ready for that. Could Ospreay be joining the family of Don Callis? I don't know. I don't know. But what I know for this match is it's going to be fantastic. Um, if their match at Wrestle Kingdom wasn't good enough for you, which I mean it was like a 6-star match, so it was one of the better matches of the year. Can they top that match? Man, it's going to be difficult. But if 2 men can do it, it's Kenny Omega and it's Will Ospreay. The two are the best in the world, and it's kind of a hard one to predict too, in my opinion. I'm having trouble thinking who's going to win this match, but ultimately, um, I think I think Will Ospreay is probably going to win the United States Championship, and I don't think I don't think Don Callis or Takeshita should get involved in this match at all. I just think Will Ospreay should beat him clean, and I think Omega should be like, all right, you know what? I got one up on you. You got one up on me, fair and square. I got one up on you, fair and square. We need to settle this once and for all. It has to be me versus you again, this time at Wembley Stadium. I think if Ospreay just beats him clean, I would love that. And I think he's either going to face Omega, he's either going to face Will Ospreay, or he's going to face Konosuke Takeshita. Now, whether they do the Takeshita match at All Out or they do it at Wembley Stadium, I think they're going to do it at All Out, which is why I think Omega is going to face Ospreay at Wembley Stadium, and that could be when Don Callis and Takeshita cost Kenny Omega the IWGP United States Championship. Then Omega could go on and be like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of Don Callis. I'm tired of Takeshita. I just want Takeshita one-on-one at All Out. So, um, for this reason, I'm taking Will Ospreay to regain the U.S. Championship in a clean win over Kenny Omega. Cam, who do you have and why?
Ospreay's getting the IWGP title back. Ospreay's getting the IWGP US title back. I want to say with help from Don Callis, but just you convinced me that Ospreay's going to win this one. But just you convinced me that Ospreay's going to win this one clean. With the rubber match happening at All In. With the rubber match happening in Wembley, in Wembley. But I think I think Ospreay's getting the IWGP US title back. So I think Ospreay's winning this match. So I'm going with Ospreay.
Wes?
I agree with both of you. I think Ospreay will regain the IWGP US title from Kenny Omega. This match is going to tear the absolute roof off the place on Sunday night. I am so absolutely excited for this match. These two guys are going to absolutely just kill it in there in the best way possible. This match is going to go crazy. Ospreay wins. I could see Don Callis getting involved in some way, but Ospreay winning clean does sound great as well. It would legitimize him even more as one of the best wrestlers in the world, which we know he already is. But this would legitimize him more, beating another one of the greatest wrestlers in the world in Kenny Omega. But like you predicted, Joseph, the rubber match happening at Wembley Stadium, All In. I mean, it sells itself right there. Kenny Omega. You already have over 60,000 seats sold for Wembley Stadium. There's not even a single match announced this card. You announce Omega and Ospreay for the third time for the IWGP US title. I mean, my goodness, man. Match made in heaven. All those fans, those two guys in one ring going head to head for the third time. I mean, you're not going to set yourself up for disappointment whatsoever. You're going to be in for the most classic of 5-star, 6-star, 7-star matches. However many stars you want to give these guys, they deserve all the stars because they're going to absolutely kill it this Sunday night and potentially on August 27th at Wembley Stadium for All In. But we're talking about Forbidden Door. For Forbidden Door, Will Ospreay will take back that IWGP United States Championship.
And finally, the main event, once in a lifetime. The Rainmaker, the American Dragon, Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson. And this will probably be the only time we see this match. Cam, I'm going to let you go ahead and take this one first.
Oh my God. The battle between the two best wrestlers in the world today. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to speak for me personally. When I would be asked, or when I would be thinking to myself, who is the best wrestler in the world for the past few years, going back to 2018, the one name that has always popped up in my head, and the name that I said he's number one has been Okada. Has been Okada. You look at the matches that he's had in the Tokyo Dome, and just New Japan in general over the past couple of years. Over the past couple of years, he had that, Okada, he had that record-breaking IWGP title reign. He was champion for something like 600 days, I think it was, just for like 600 days, I think it was, just like the greatest championship reign of the modern era. And before you WWE shills get at me and say, what about Roman Reigns? When you can name me a Roman Reigns match as good as the matches Okada had during that run, then we can have a conversation. Then we'll sit down. And we'll have a conversation. But until then, shut the fuck up. Because Okada's 600, 700 day reign, something like that, with the IWGP Championship is the greatest championship reign of the past 25 years of the modern era. Until you can find me a Roman Reigns match on par with any of those Okada matches, Okada's reign still stands. Okada's reign still stands. I don't want to hear that's just the bottom line truth. I don't want to hear that's the bottom line truth. You look at Okada's matches against people like Omega, Shibata, Naito, Ibushi, AJ Styles. I think this was before the championship reign, but still, AJ Styles, Nakamura. You look at Okada's catalog, Jay White. You look at his catalog. His catalog is just impressive as hell. And you look at Bryan Danielson, somebody who a decade ago, somebody who, not even that long ago was told by WWE he would never wrestle. Was told by WWE he would never wrestle again. And you look at the fact that, he's been able to come back. He had that great run in WWE's WWE champion in 2019. And then he goes over to AEW and just puts on great match after great match after great match. If you tell me Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world, I'm not going to be mad at you. If you tell me Okada is the best wrestler in the world, I'm not going to be mad at you. This really is the battle of the two greatest wrestlers in the world. Without that being said, I think Okada is winning this match here. I think Okada's winning this match here. I do. Although I do think Bryan Danielson is due for a very big win. Because Danielson, to be honest with you, Danielson hasn't had a lot of many big wins since coming over to AEW. He just hasn't. He's lost a lot of his big matches more than he's won. But I think that trend is going to continue here because I think Okada's going to be wrestling in the main event of the Tokyo Dome. Because I think Okada's going to be wrestling in the Tokyo Dome main event January 7th, like he always is, wrestling for the IWGP title. So that being said, I could see New Japan wanting to keep Okada strong for that. So I think Okada wins here. I would give it to Daniels personally, but I think Okada wins here, and I think this is going to be the match of the year. I think this is going to be the match of the year. I'm calling it now, and this is going to be an absolutely incredible match.
I'm stoked, man. I'm absolutely stoked. Cam, I just saw a spoiler on Twitter about the NBA draft with the Pacers. I'm just not going to say anything, though. I'm just going to let you find out. Wes, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, this match here, Kazuchika Okada, Brian Danielson. You guys already know Brian Danielson's my boy. That's my favorite wrestler of all time. I know how great Danielson is. Okada, we all know how great both these men are. And honestly, match of the year, people calling it now. I can very well say. I feel like Omega Ospreay and Okada Danielson are going to be battling each other so much in this show on Sunday to see who can outdo one another. It's as if this is like booked as a fatal four-way almost. It's like he's got two matches that are going to go head to head like this. That could very well you could very well have a argument that which will be match of the year. But regardless, we're going to get two match of the year candidates undoubtedly with these two matches. But we're here to talk about Okada Danielson. As far as who wins, I'm actually going to pick Brian Danielson to beat Kazuchika Okada. I feel like Brian Danielson is due for a massive win here. And also the Blackpool Combat Club has looked very, very strong, built up throughout all this recent time. And I feel like this would culminate a massive win for not only Danielson, but just for the Blackpool Combat Club as a whole, considering that Danielson is kind of the ringleader in a way for this faction. Now, you could argue Moxley's the ringleader too, but I feel like Danielson is ultimately that ringleader for the Blackpool Combat Club now that Regal is obviously no longer with the company. But I feel like Danielson picking up this huge win over Okada would skyrocket him even more. And Danielson, now that the Blackpool Combat Club are heels again, I feel like Danielson being in the forefront of that, coming on to Dynamite saying, my guys got the win over the Elite. They beat them twice, back-to-back periods, and I have beaten the proclaimed by many as the so-called best in the world. Meanwhile, you got the best wrestler in the world standing right before you, and he beat that so-called best wrestler in the world in Kazuchika Okada. I could totally see Danielson being a total dick about the whole thing, coming on to Dynamite or even Collision, just wherever. But I ultimately see it on Dynamite. Him just coming out there bragging, being cocky, and saying, "I beat the so-called best wrestler in the world in Kazuchika Okada." This match is going to be an absolute classic. This is a dream match of all dream matches that you could possibly muster up in your head. Because two of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and Brian Danielson and Kazuchika Okada. I'm so looking forward to this. These two guys are going to absolutely tear the house down in the best way possible. And I'm so looking forward to this here. But I'm ultimately going with Brian Danielson getting the dub over Kazuchika Okada.
Man, this is definitely hard to predict. It's very hard to predict, and you can make a case for either guy. I love the case that you made for Brian Danielson, him bragging on Dynamite. He beat the best wrestler in the world. He beat the self-proclaimed best wrestler in the world, Kazuchika Okada. The Blackpool Combat Club is on top of the world right now in AEW. They are just absolutely killing it. I'm gonna make a case for Okada because that's who I think's gonna win. I'm gonna take Okada and a nice baby face win in the main event. I think the American audience is very familiar with who Okada is. Obviously, he's one of, if not the most popular wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling next to Tanahashi. And I think him getting a big win on a massive pay-per-view like this over a well-known American wrestler in Brian Danielson, I think that will want to make American American wrestling fans watch him even more, and it might make them maybe go out of their way and watch a couple of his matches in the G1 Climax. But my theory is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really think Brian needs this win because this is about the best wrestler in the world, and I think him, even if he loses, he's going to be fine with the Blackpool Combat Club, and it'll be all good for Danielson. So I'm going to take Okada to win. I think Okada is is winning this main event at Forbidden Door to close off what's going to be a massive show. Now, uh, we'll get Cam back here in a couple minutes, hopefully in a couple moments. Just one last question before we end this video. Does Kota Ibushi show up at Forbidden Door on Sunday? My answer is I'm going to say no, but he shows up on Dynamite Wednesday. That's my guess. What do you think?
Tough. It's tough. I could see it happening at Forbidden Door. Could see it happening on Dynamite as well. I feel like showing up at. I mean, it is being talked about that Omega Ospreay is possible for Forbidden Door, which I would not be upset about whatsoever, because obviously those two guys are going to put on an absolute barn burner, like we mentioned earlier. And if it's going to main event, I think Ibushi shows up. If it doesn't main event, I don't think Ibushi shows up.
I don't think it's going to main event. Because didn't Excalibur say on commentary last night that that the main event was going to be Danielson versus Okada?
I can't remember if he did. I just know I've seen reports of Omega Ospreay closing the show. So I don't know.
We'll see. Cam, are you with us?
I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you? What's going on? Are you happy? Are you not happy with the draft?
I was mad at first because I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" But, but we traded him. But we traded him for one of the guys I wanted, so I can't be mad. I can't be mad at that. So I can't be mad at that. Hope it works out for us. The Wizards are fucking the Wizards are fucking stupid, but we already knew that already. And so my organization is a winner. And so my organization is a winner. But but I think it depends on what main events. Like Wes said, I think if Omega Ospreay main events, then we get Kota Ibushi. I think if we don't, I think if Okada Danielson main events, then we don't get Kota Ibushi and we get him on Dynamite. Then we get him on Dynamite. But Kota Ibushi is coming because they got to set blooding that up. I mean, it's always possible that they just keep Eddie Kingston in that spot as a reluctant partner. But Kota Ibushi's coming, so he better be coming. So I think, but no, I don't think Kota Ibushi shows up on Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all for the AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door predictions. Man, what a lineup. That pay-per-view on Sunday night is going to be a fucking banger. I cannot wait. I am stoked. We're going to be doing a watch along here on the channel during the show. I cannot wait for Sunday night. But I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We are not done with the content, not even close. Saturday night, we got another 2-for-1 special here on the channel, 8 o'clock. Around 7:50, I'll go live on here for the AEW Collision Watch Along. Big 8-man tag main event. CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks teaming up to face Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. So we'll do a watch along, and then right after, we'll do a post-show review for AEW Collision on Saturday night. Comment down below your thoughts on the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from all three of us, myself, Wesley Williams, and Cameron Johnson. And follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. Cam, where can everyone follow you on your socials?
Follow me on the Twitter at Cam71101.
Wes?
You already know. Follow me over on Instagram at The Real Wesley Side. You can also follow me over on the same exact username. Again, that is at The Real Wesley Side. Joseph, a pleasure talking Forbidden Door with you guys. I'm so excited for Sunday night. Joseph, send the fans home happy.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you Saturday night for the AEW Collision watch along and review on Saturday night. Cannot wait to watch the second episode, see how they follow up from last week's show. I'm very excited. But guys, have a good one. Stay safe, and as always, stay classy. And we're out. Peace.
Peace.